Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. With a helicopter going over me yet again during my introduction, I'm going to hand across to whoever's in Discord and G+. We've got Neil, Adam, Click OK, Eli, One Deck, and as I say, a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Wow, the helicopters are coming after you, Nathan.
Yeah, it's second day in a row.
Morning.
Good morning, how's it going?
Well, I see Bacon resurfaced. Remember Bacon, how we fried him a few times? He resurfaced with the same argument. They don't equal 180 degrees.
The degrees that they're trying to transpose and suggest will only work if we take the measurements from the centre point of a sphere Earth and then transpose them with PZX triangles that then bend into things that no longer are capable of description as an angle when they're on a curved surface. Don't add up to 180. You're like, okay, so when we talk about angle measurements with respect to Earth's surface, we're talking about elevation angle measurements. We're not talking about the after-the-fact transposition into celestial sphere, PZX triangle-based globe Earth, an equatorial plane for you to be standing in, not on, describing these curved pizza slices, not even being capable of being described as angles, let alone, according to them, adding up to 180. Meanwhile, the actual acquirement of these angles in terms of Earth measurement require, without any doubt, Earth be measured as a flat plane. We're talking about elevation angle measurements, aren't we? So what is an elevation angle measurement? Well, it's the measurement of the horizontal plane the observer is standing on compared to the target object in the sky. One straight line to the target object, one straight line along the horizontal plane the observer is standing on and measuring. That's what it is. By definition, you require Earth be flat to measure this angle. But they want to whistle past the acquisition of the Earth-based measurement and talk about their PZX triangle model-based, hemispherical, then full spherical, plane-based, globe-based, protractor-based model where we're standing in hell plotting out pizza slices that don't add up to 180. How coy. How delightful. It's a good job we understand the transposition from flat Earth acquisition of angle measurement on the surface to globe Earth creation with the flat Earth measurements we all love. Bacon, you say? Why doesn't he use his real name? I'll tell you why. Because he knows he's wrong. He's a coward. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'd like to introduce myself to you if you're watching this. The reason I use my real name is because I'm not ashamed of anything I say. When I detail the Earth being measured flat in a linear fashion with miles, those are facts that I can stand behind without any debate. When I say that Earth is measured flat with elevation angles that require a flat baseline, that's the surface and it forms part of the angle. These idiots with names like Bacon and Cheeseburger and whatever these idiots who are cowards and hide behind false names on the internet say about Earth being a sphere will always track back to a man like myself with a real name pointing out that Earth is measured flat.
That's what I said. I used my real name. I went in 24/7 for a couple of minutes to deal with Elder Bear, Hayuka, whatever his name is. He was flipping back and forth. I said, where is your real name? My name is Neil Cosentino.
Yeah, these people are cowards. They hide behind their fake sock accounts and fake names because they are too scared to stand by what they actually say. Hayuka isn't a real name. It's a fake name for a fake persona that's already been created. It's a way of protecting an already in existence fake persona called Elder Bear. Why? Because he has no intention of standing by anything should it be proven wrong. Doesn't have the courage of his conviction when he says things. What he can do is troll us and ask us to stand by the after-the-fact flat Earth measurements in terms of what they infer by calculation, utilise to create spheres, and tell us that we should stand by the after-the-fact extrapolations that Globe Earth will utilise these on-screen measurements of a flat surface level for angles to things like the Sun. This on screen now is how Antarctica, for example, was measured for a 24-hour period with the Sun. Yeah? Earth got measured flat. Beyond that, who cares? That's how Earth gets measured. Is it my problem that you need to extrapolate these flat Earth prerequisites and measurements from a flat surface level into a sphere that you think you can project PZX triangles to tell me how the angles don't add up to 180? I don't give a crap. Earth gets measured flat for any of these discussions to take place. For you to tell me that there's no guns in Antarctica, you need to travel across a surface level in straight and level flight, measured in black boxes in flights, always. Earth is measured flat by the aircraft that fly straight and level. That's what they do. It's a principle of flight that is utilised daily. Now, I don't have to care how flight works. I don't have to understand anything about flight to talk about how Earth is required to be flat to remain in straight and level flight parallel with surface level, measured with sea level, with altimeters that track data in black boxes and show you that Earth is measured flat. I can just show you black box data. But what can you do? You can scream at me and tell me I'm wrong. Like it's my Nathan Oakley's black box data. Wrong. Like this on-screen flat Earth elevation angle measurement that people in Antarctica spent a lot of money to go and measure and call an experiment. Okay? You can call it an experiment. You can say that it proved a globe, but it is ipso facto a flat Earth measurement. Now, when I point out that it's a flat Earth measurement, you can either accept these facts for what they are, or you can ask me where guns are. Those are your choices. You can do either. I don't care. But it's not me measuring Earth. I'm not in Antarctica. People are, why didn't you go? Because I couldn't give a crap. But I did get phoned up proactively from Antarctica to be told about the flat Earth measurements that they were making. And when I told one of the participants that he was measuring a flat Earth for the 100th time, he went nuts and started yelling my name into the snow. Now, that isn't my fault. But that is just how it is. We are measuring Earth flat always, without exception. Now, the second that I sniff out somebody who's wanting to prove something about Earth, there's a good chance that they will, very quickly, that's the good chance bit, not the following bit, measure Earth flat. They'll do that without doubt. That can't be any other way of measuring a flat Earth, because that's how Earth gets measured, flat. But it'll be pretty quick, and when I get to the sniffing out of that flat Earth measurement they need, they'll start yelling at me and telling me I'm an idiot, telling me I beat my kids, asking me where guns are, things of that nature. But it won't change that the people who are talking to me, why are they talking to me? Because they want to change my mind, don't they? They need me to return to the cult. They need me to stop pointing out how Earth gets measured flat, to believe in the cult of a globe Earth, to stand in and measure PZX pizzas from a flat plane called the equatorial plane that we all actually stand upon to measure the angles that system requires you utilise a flat Earth to measure. You, not me. But this needs to be projected onto me like I'm wrong about something when I point out the facts of the matter. Now, I'm not wrong about anything. You need Earth to be flat. I don't need Earth to be anything. I'm not trying to prove anything. These aren't my measurements. But it'll be an evergreen subject. We'll always be talking about this so long as people are under the Western world religious control of heliocentrism. Same exact system that's used, but to a different end, with Scientology. They're both the same system, used in the same way to control people. Now, the fact that I and a lot of people around me have left this cult, that's all it is. It's just a cult. You, if you were unaware of this, I'll put my lights on again. You're in a cult. That's not my fault. I've left your cult of heliocentrism, and I'm pointing out how absurd it is to measure Earth flat, to believe that you've got pizza slices called PZX triangles, to ask me about how they'd measure 180 degrees. I'm not measuring any triangles on any global surfaces that are derived from flat Earth angle measurements. I'm not doing that. You are. But you're going to come and tell me about it, aren't you? Yeah, you're all bonkers. You're in a cult and you need to convert the ex-cult members back to the cult. And when they point out that your cult requires Earth be measured flat, you start talking about how I'm a child abuser. I'm not. But you do measure Earth flat. That'll never change.
That's how you know they're in a cult, because they want to bring you back. See, we don't care. You leave flat Earth, that's on you. Have a good life. I'm not looking to reel you back in.
Yeah, I don't want you. Let's just make the distinction. You globe-believing cult members who come and tell me about PZX triangles not adding up to 180. Yeah, I don't want you to believe Earth's flat. I don't care if you know that your globe Earth cult requires it to be measured flat. I don't care. I don't need you to be around me. I don't want you around me. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you. It's like you people start telling me what I can have. I'll give you a flat Earth, said Conspiracy Cats. I don't want it. I don't want it from you. I don't want Conspiracy Cats to tell me he'll give me a flat Earth. I already knew it was measured flat, but he felt the need to give me something like I asked. No, I don't want anything from you. You want me back in your cult of globe, though, don't you? And every time you attempt to recruit me, you find that Earth gets measured flat in every single instance of Earth measurement. Now, that's not me saying I want you to come and believe in a flat Earth with me. I don't want any of you. I don't care about any of you. The people who make themselves abundantly aware to myself as being there to help, they're really helpful and they know exactly who they are. Everyone else beyond that, I don't care about you. Yeah? But you're still yelling my name into the snow when you go out of your way to measure Earth flat and call it an experiment. That's what you do. Yeah? I'm not going to be out screaming people's name into the snow because they haven't been recruited into my cult. I haven't got a cult. I don't care how you measure Earth flat. But you do measure Earth flat. And I'll keep pointing it out to you. It means I've got an evergreen subject, regardless of how censored this show is. It's always going to be an evergreen subject. There's always going to be people in the cult of heliocentrism who want to tell me I'm wrong, affording me the opportunity to reactively tell them where they measure Earth flat, where they have a need, a requirement for Earth to be flat to move forward in their spherical belief that they want me to be a part of. I'm not chasing anybody down telling them it's flat. Far from it. I will, for the first time, start going out proactively chasing people down to buy my book, talking about the last 10 years of my life, and how that has involved people chasing me down to recruit me into a globe cult that I departed from 10 years ago. Now, 10 years on, having been chased down proactively by people like MC Toon, the man who ended up screaming my name into the snow, not the other way round, how they measure Earth flat. Because when I point out how the people who are in the cult still trying to chase me down to re-enter it, they're measuring Earth flat. They're affirming the reason I walked away. And all they can do is scream my name. That's all anybody can do when you hear this information. And there's only one thing you can really do to stop this, and it's to make the signal to noise louder on the side that lies about Earth actually being a sphere you can stand on. The signal is us. The noise is globe Earth garbage. Us pointing out that Earth gets measured flat has to be turned into background noise. That just requires us to be censored, right? Shove us to the bottom of the list and have McToon shout my name into the snow louder. Because even that, in and of itself, will be, to the perception of the person watching, a victory. It's good enough. Most people are thick. And they're not going to get to hear me saying, why is he screaming my name into the snow? Because he's literally just got off the phone with me. Yeah, that'll be him contacting me proactively, MC Toon, to tell me that he's measuring Earth flat. And if you want to believe you're on a ball, that's going to send you nuts. And it did. That's why he's contacting me. But me, I can look at my numbers and know that I've got less than 50 people watching right now. Why? Well, not because I haven't been here as a subject matter expert in a subject that everyone's searching for. I just know that when they type in flat Earth, they don't find me. They find MC Toon screaming my name into the snow, but not me. So 54 people watching, I was wrong. But there we go. That's life. It doesn't change that I'm in the absolute supreme confidence position to be able to dictate facts to people. Like in yesterday's show when Neil deGrasse Tyson comes on the scene and starts saying, it used to be the case that you thought you could just guess your way through life and that would be good enough. No. When we talk about the fact of Earth being measured flat for heliocentrism, orbital motion, gravity, just to name a few. Those are facts. Indisputable. You don't have to like them. You, the one who needs them. You, the one who requires perpendicular planes of reference to weigh things to call gravity. You need Earth to be flat. Yeah? And it'll slowly start sinking in, even by osmosis, even if it is through heavy censorship that we don't reach a great deal of people. The people who we do reach want to support me. Now, I sleep well. Poor. That's stressful. But it doesn't change that I don't wake up in the middle of the night stressed out about whether or not my religion's correct and I'll be proven wrong next week. I already know the facts in the matter. Earth's measured flat. And every time someone comes and tries to take me back to their globe cult, they tell me how they are measuring Earth flat. Every single time. As I go back through the old shows, the old flat Earth debates, it rings with a almost disturbing clarity after the fact. I hear our opponents telling us how, yeah, we measure Earth flat. It's because it's really, really big. So it's okay. For me, the globe-believing numpty, here to convert you back to the globe from the flat Earth you know you are standing on by telling you it's okay to measure Earth flat. It's really big. That's what I'm hearing when I go back through the old shows. Now, did we hear it in the moment? No. Am I embarrassed by it? No. Could I be? Yeah. But I'm not. We were all indoctrinated to believe we're on a sphere. Now we know we're not because we see how Earth actually gets measured to create that sphere for us to have believed in. Embarrassing.
They go back to their old tricks because somebody just said that the other day. All right, I'll give you a flat Earth. And then he went on to go on with his nonsense. You're not giving us anything. It's flat. We're just aware of it now.
That's exactly what I was saying at the start of the show. That's a tacit way of attempting to flip the burden. I'll give you a flat Earth. No, I'm all right, thanks. I don't need anything from you, but it flips the burden so that the only time it's acknowledged as being required is when it's being given to me, the flat earther. No, you need it to be flat. You're going to be measuring it flat, in that case for perspective. That's how Earth gets measured. Now, if you want to apply perspective to your argument, you're going to be on your knees acknowledging a flat Earth that you're measuring to do so. Now, it's not that suddenly you need to tell me that you're giving me something. I don't want anything from you. They just don't get that. Now, when they finally appreciate it, they bugger off, they give up their channels. This is conspiracy cats we're talking about. This is a man who, after going nuts, similar sort of story to McToon, by coincidence, he's the man who gave Toon his channel. So after 125 repetitions of me telling conspiracy cats, you can't have gas pressure without a container, sky can't be a vacuum, the gas would fill the space, he went nuts. Now, his video before buggering off and making ghost videos was about perspective and a flat Earth that he'll give us. Now, in his saying that, presumably when we point out that, no, you're not just giving us a flat Earth, you're measuring Earth flat, that's where he's lost the plot completely and given up his channel. Giving it to a man who went down to Antarctica to have the 100th rendition of you're measuring Earth flat with elevation angles told to him. So that channel's cursed. The first guy who owned that channel went nuts and is now making videos about ghosties. Now the guy who's taken it over is screaming my name and talking about guns in Antarctica. I kid you not. There's a cursed channel. Cursed as in cursed by me. Cursed to be told hundreds, not an exaggeration, of time how your Earth is a flat plane and the sky is not a vacuum for your little space rockets. And your heliocentric orbital motion, also derived from flat Earth measurements. Yeah, the motion that you will think that we're moving around the sun with, you get that maths from flat plane elevation angle measurements of the stars. That's where it comes from. Again, these aren't Nathan Oakley's flat Earth measurements that you need to argue about. It's what you, if you're a heliocentrist, that's a idiot globe-believing numpty, require Earth to be measured as. That's flat. In order for you to ignore the fact that Earth has just been measured flat and suggest that that means you're standing on a sphere, violating the base principle measurements that you've just utilised to create the sphere with. Yeah,
well, this seems to drive people crazy when you talk about measurements. It drives them out of their mind. Well, they'll keep trying to contact you with nonsense information to try and bring you back on a ball that never existed in the first place. But this particular proof, this silver bullet, is driving everybody mad.
Imagine the pain, right? The pain of having to explain to somebody that you live on a ball that measures flat. Like, that explains why they're going crazy. Right? That's right there. You have to believe you live on a ball that also measures flat. A ball that's too big to measure the very curve that makes it a ball in the first place. That sounds very psychosis inducing type shit.
Yeah, sounds like it would send you nuts if you started to dissect your own cult. Yeah. Easier to tell other people that they should be rejoining it and just accepting that flat Earth measurements are perfectly acceptable to believe you're on a ball, which is what they were effectively doing when they go down to Antarctica to call a flat Earth measurement an experiment that essentially is suggested to prove a ball. So your flat Earth measurement of an angle from surface level is an experiment that proves a ball, is it? Where are the guns? He tried to deflect with measurements.
As I'm deflecting with guns, he's trying to deflect with measurements. How dare he?
Yeah. So I edited out the section where I'm telling him, no, Toon, you measure Earth flat. I leave a little pause after he's ranted at me, ask him if he's done, and then start pointing out with his mute button in use in full effect that he measures Earth flat. And as I start telling him, he says, don't interrupt me. It's absolutely priceless. Have you heard that clip?
Yeah, then he goes, get off your life partner, the mute button.
Yeah.
He's telling you to get off it when he's on it.
Yeah, he's telling me to get off my mute button I'm married to. And that statement is an interruption to me pointing out that Earth is being measured flat by him. Get off your mute button. That's what he's saying, to interrupt me pointing out that Earth's being measured flat in Antarctica by him. The measurements that are being utilised are being interrupted to tell me not to use a mute button. That's correct.
You can't make this stuff up, I'm telling you.
Yep. We do actually have a video to cover today. So I came across this whilst doom scrolling. Something science, TL something science. I can't read at this distance. I'm so sorry, my dear. She isn't really my concern, if I'm honest. It's just the story that she's telling that is interesting, to say the least. Now, there's a bit of a, what would you call it? Twist? Plot twist might be the right term at the end of this video. But it's relevant. You'll see why as we progress. What I want you guys to do, let's go back to the panel. Can you all hear me? Is everybody, let's have a little roll call. Wandek and Craig, Adam, Chocolate, you all present and paying attention?
I'm here. I'm ready.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Excellent. Right, what we're going to do, as we play the video, even though it's not by her, at least connected to the subject that we cover on a daily basis, that's Earth being measured flat, I want you to just interrupt the video when you hear something that requires Earth be measured flat. Sound like a fun game?
That's going to be quick right away.
I watched this several hours ago, so I can't remember how quickly that'll happen. But we'll see. Okay, we're all ready? Just check if everyone can hear this in Discord.
The fact that sort of terrifies and excites me all at the same time.
You all hear that?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm asking Discord. Can you hear that in Discord? Is that okay? Can you hear it okay? I didn't do a roll call to check if anyone was paying attention in Discord, and they're clearly not. We'll just carry on regardless, I guess. Right, okay. I will, well, hopefully somebody picks up their mic and replies and says, yeah, we heard it. I'll do a quick share of this young lady's video, only reasonable, as she's put the effort in to cover this subject. So, this something science video, TilScience, I can't read, I'm so sorry. This is her video, so please share the love, the YouTube love that is, with this videographer by letting her know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that just alludes to that fact. So don't be passive aggressive, don't be, you know, doing anything other than sharing the love with this very pretty videographer. So let her know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that's alluding to the fact that we have covered her video. And hopefully if she was to respond in any way, she'd do the same for me and put a link to the very handsome and beautiful and nice-smelling Nathan Oakley 1980 in her video response. We can only dream. Hopefully that's given somebody in Discord enough time to actually give me a response. Can you all hear this, Discord?
Some of the biggest lakes on our planet are hidden beneath miles and miles
Nathan?
of ice.
Yes.
I just went in Discord and I don't hear a thing from you.
You don't hear the video playing?
In
No.
Antarctica. Exhibit A, Lake Vostok, which is under 2 miles of ice, is 3,000 feet deep.
Ding, ding,
and is the
ding.
I can see my light flashing though, Neil. I can see that the signal's going through. I'm reasonably confident they can hear it in Discord, even if no one's responding.
I hear it now.
Oh, okay, jolly good. I heard a ding, 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 ding when someone talked about how deep something was.
He said miles, and miles are a linear distance measurement.
Indeed, she's actually talking about a depth, though, in this instance, right? 3,000 foot depth is perpendicular to a plane of reference. To describe how deep something is requires Earth be measured flat. These axiomatic principles can only be described perpendicular to a plane of reference. It's an axiom. Now, when you're talking about globes, as much as I hate to incorporate the anti-argument, it's not necessary. It frustrates me when others do it, but nevertheless, I'm being told I shortchange people when I don't do it, so I'll do it with an air of disdain. Yeah, a globe would only have in and out, like outer space and inner core. Like there aren't any up and downs in outer space, right? You all aware of this rhetoric? It's all sounding familiar, you bunch of dicks. You stupid numbskulls. I'm talking to the globe believers, you understand. You don't have down for depth. And how deep something is with respect to sea level. Like heights, elevations also require a flat Earth be measured. It's axiomatically connected to a surface level, a plane, sea level. Depth, perpendicular to the plane of reference in this case. How deep? Well, it's going to be compared to sea level. Axiomatically requiring Earth be flat. There's no globes involved. Now, I yearn for the day that I don't have to detail my opponent's position. Because why the hell should I? Seems absurd that I should go through how we don't have axiomatic principles adhered to on spherical surfaces. Why should I? It's not my bleeding belief. Why should I have to go through how it doesn't work on a ball? Very frustrating. Meanwhile, what we will do axiomatically are required to do and can only do a flat Earth measurement in this regard if describing depth.
size of Lake Ontario. That's a lot of lake. Now imagine all the deep sea creatures that are living inside that lake. And
just so we don't lose track of what she's actually talking about. So she is discussing the discovery of, I'm going to use this word, alien species in Antarctica. So there is an entire ecosystem alleged to be in a trapped lake with no access to sunlight, taking their energy from the rocks. All sounds very alien. Would we not agree?
just remember, whatever life is living inside this lake hasn't seen the light of day for 15 million years. That's
It hasn't seen the light of day. That was a full stop. Yeah, we're for 15 million years. Sorry, do you want to prove that timeline? We've only just discovered them and then you know how long they haven't seen light for. My dear, you're just making these numbers up. Yeah? It's like statistical information. 63.4% of it is made up on the spot. It's a Vic Reeves quote.
That's going to do something to you. And by the way, the water in the lake is not frozen. It's still liquid, despite the average temperature in the area being around negative 60 degrees Celsius for
Cold enough to have your shirt off. Where are the guns, Nathan? Where's your shirt, McKeegan?
most of the year.
And temperature
that's because
requires a container.
Yeah, that's... Oh, beautiful. I didn't even spot that. Excellent. So, yeah, you're right. absolutely correct. If you're going to describe something with regard to thermodynamic temperature in this case, then you're going to need containment. Shout out to Brian's logic. Absolutely correct.
Because ice is actually a great insulator. Plus, Earth is always giving off some sort of heat from its molten core. Now,
Really? Molten iron core? No, there is no molten iron core. This is a derivation that creates a ball for you to stand within on an equatorial plane. There's no evidence of an actual molten iron core. There is only Earth-based flat measurements from an equatorial plane derived from surface level. You want to see it? There it is. This isn't a molten, juicy iron hot core heating up the surface that isn't curving. Earth's measured flat to create this mathematics. There is no molten iron core. You won't be evidencing it, my dear. This is garbage. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. You're going to need a flat Earth for that. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for the super chat.
Now, John Prissu is a polar scientist, and he studies.
Of course. So I've got a whirly whirl on my live stream, got a whirly whirl on my video. I've got my expensive gigabit internet that's been perfect up until today. I've got a computer that's running absolutely perfectly and flawlessly right up until the point that I'm covering the Antarctic shelf. How interesting that my video should crap out right this second.
Do 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 do.
No, so that's it. We're not covering this video, it would seem. My recording will maintain my frustration in terms of how consistently my computer is functioning and how my absolutely outstanding and expensive internet would typically be working fine, right up until the point that we're talking about how the new alien life's been discovered in Antarctica, and now we've got the whirly whirl. We're talking about how Earth is measured flat in the most recent endeavours of Antarctic explorers, according to what we are alleged to be talking about. Although this was going on, what we found new alien life on a world that's not very explored, that's very intriguing. It kind of sounds reminiscent of what I very specifically said would happen if we were to be free to discover the rest of the world. Like we'd find more life. Alien. Now, obviously, we're not going to get to see that. My gigabit internet isn't quite strong enough to run a YouTube short video in a vertical format in very low resolution. Obviously, that would be unreasonable. So I'll have to tell you from memory, having watched this video already, that this lady then goes on about the Antarctic explorer she's now detailed.
Life forms inside of these deep ice lakes like Lake Vostok. And one of the questions he studies is how do these organisms survive without getting any sunlight?
So we've got a chap in Antarctica investigating how the alien life survives under very different circumstances. So before now, this life wasn't known of. Now we've got new life discoveries, and we've got the quote-unquote scientists. They're not. This isn't science. They're just having a little look. Trying to figure out how new life has been discovered in an area that we are kept away from. Only recently, men were turned away at gunpoint from Antarctica. These are the facts. Now, other men are allowed to discover alien life there. We're not. I mean, we can go there and measure Earth flat and call them experiments, like the people who recently went from our beloved group, shoulder to shoulder, together with us. We recently went to Antarctica collectively and measured Earth flat there. We weren't allowed to go digging in the snow. We weren't allowed to go beyond any particular duration, designated area. But apparently, alien life's being discovered in the same areas that we aren't allowed to go on. I see.
Well, get this. Remember our old friend, Dark Oxygen, aka Doxygen? Turns out these microbes are getting their energy from the rocks. And this is wild because for the longest time, biology just skipped over Antarctica thinking there was no life, no biodiversity there.
No guns. But there is biodiversity. New biodiversity being alien life, in essence. Previously undiscovered, now living very differently in a different area that wasn't charted previously, newly discovered in the history of our continental expansion, flat in directionalities that are measured flat with linear distance measurements and angle measurements off flat planes. So in the recently shut down with the Antarctic Treaty, recently escorting people away at gunpoint, recently used for flat Earth experiments in a very limited capacity, this area is now yielding new life. How interesting that alien life would be found there. I mean, if it were me, I'd need an ancillary rhetoric that kept people from wanting to push forward and explore their world, that suggested that the only new life was found out in, I don't know, somewhere that there definitely wasn't any soil, not that you could explore there. I don't know where that could be. Maybe the sky? If we pretended that the sky had all the new life and new soil. I mean, there is an entire division called NASA that are involved in this process of suggesting that any new life that we will find will be found on planets and in the sky. Absurd, because the sky's full of air, not full of soil. But they're telling us that the little flashing lights are actually soil. But meanwhile, we have found new life. We've found alien life that lives in a very alien way in a very mysterious place that we've got the Antarctic Treaty preventing us going from and people being escorted away at gunpoint if they accidentally get there. And other people measuring Earth flat there. I see. This is all very intriguing. I wonder what NASA got to say about it. I mean, obviously this would have nothing to do with NASA.
But that couldn't be farther from the truth. There's an entire ecosystem teeming with life that is totally unique to anything else that exists on our planet. And what's even more wild is that the nutrients that are produced as byproducts of this energetic extraction by the microbes fertilize the Antarctic continental shelf and to the rest of the world's oceans because...
Wow, it's like it's quite a critical little ecosystem we've got going on here. Kind of suggesting that it's almost like life begins there and gets filtered through the rest of the world, through the systems that filter through the Antarctic snow. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. Wow. There was me thinking the only new life we'd find would be if we travelled out to the little lights in the sky that are very difficult to travel to. Amazing.
Yes, despite being buried under miles of ice, these lakes flush out.
We're buried under miles of ice? Yeah, that's a flat Earth distance below the surface level, isn't it? We're measuring Earth flat, okay?
To the ocean. So what does that mean? It means we have this gigantic hidden ecosystem that is potentially shaping the rest of the planet with...
So, new alien life potentially shaping the rest of our known surface. Planet, I'm not going to buy that, my love. No, I'm sorry. You need to measure Earth flat to infer this planetary bullshit that's part of your religion. Now, I know that you're a heliocentrist, and really we should be tolerant of other people's religions. I'm not. You're a scumbag when you come to your religion. Most of you would rather see me dead than talk about how Earth gets measured flat for your religion of planets. We're not. We're measuring the surface level with angles and stuff. Go ahead.
I won't be tolerant of this religion because I was practically forced into it without my acknowledgement when I was a baby. So, no, I won't be going back. Don't need none of that anymore, thanks. I'm an adult.
With its water and unique biodiversity, and the study of how this is influencing the rest of the Earth has just begun. What's really interesting is that John collaborated with NASA to see if Jupiter's moon Europa has water on it.
Oh, what an interesting parallel. So the little twinkling lights in the sky, just as interesting as this new alien life found in an area governed by the Antarctic Treaty where men get escorted away at gunpoint should they accidentally land there when they don't have permission and haven't filled out the forms and aren't there to measure a flat Earth with angles. I see. So NASA getting involved then. So in terms of whether or not we'll find new worlds, new life, travelling up and out... Can't travel up on a globe, only out in this heliocentric religion you hold, my dear. Nevertheless, when travelling out towards your version of the soil in the sky, because that makes a whole lot of frickin' sense, doesn't it? I do a whole lot of digging and gardening in the sky, like most people. But we haven't found any new worlds like the new worlds found in the last few hundred years, right? The lights in the sky, have literally yielded absolutely nothing in terms of new soil. But we have just found an entire ecosystem buried beneath a surface that you'll be escorted away from at gunpoint if you accidentally land there by the Chilean government. Is that right? You'd think we'd all be encouraged to go and investigate some more. What's that? I know, let's pour money into finding the soil in the sky. By way of a religious belief that the sky is a vacuum and that we've got us moving around the sun in a motion derived from flat Earth angle measurements of the stars. What an absurd waste of money. Why are all these religions wasting money on pretending that the soil in the sky and that we move in an orbital motion that's derived based on a prerequisite that Earth can only be measured flat? That seems really silly. Why would you want to pour money into this nonsense? Why would you believe a single word that the man's got to say when he's ascribing some of it to his NASA experiments that they're not, that assert that we've got ecosystems and aliens in the sky? Oh, so we've definitely found new life under the very heavily controlled Antarctic shelf. But there's also definitely life under the shelves in the lights in the sky. Definitely, definitely.
John's assessment was that the environment on Europa was...
When did he go to Europa? Oh, he's just a bullshitting heliocentrist. Yeah, there's a lot of that about, bullshitting heliocentrists. You know, I went to Mars. I mean, I didn't. I'm using the same standard as this guy when he talks about Europa, right? I just talk about the candy cotton clouds on Mars, because that's what they've got. Why? Well, because I made it up myself.
Was very similar to Antarctica.
Wow, very similar. So when you look at that light with your eyeballs, do you think about little lakes buried hundreds of miles below snow? Is that what you look at, the lights in the sky, and think? It sounds like you've got a demented religious belief about lights being soil. That seems stupid. Why? Well, because we measure Earth flat with elevation angles and create this system called orbital motion, which makes Earth a ball in mathematics, moving around the sun, and hundreds of millions of miles of distance between us and these lights that are also soil. That's Copernican heliocentric orbital motion, my dear. That's been derived by measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. Wouldn't you know? So we're definitely not going to compare lights in the sky and how much soil they've got or how much life they've got teeming under ice caps, because they're little twinkling lights in the sky, as opposed to the actual land that we can explore and seem to continually expand and find life when we do. But I know, lock it all down and say the world's a ball, I guess.
So it's entirely possible that Europa also...
It's entirely possible that Europa also has the life that has literally just been found in an area that's heavily controlled and governed on the edges of the known worlds that we've been expanding for the last several hundred years, horizontally. But there might also be land vertically. You can't have vertically if you believe you're on a ball. There is no up. And these little twinkling lights are just that. They're not the subject when you're finding life in Antarctica. If you are, I mean, this could all be bollocks for all I know. But if you're going to allege that you found life in Antarctica, why would it immediately be compared to a frickin' light in the sky? What are you, Simba? Are you a little lion cub being lied to by your rather demented elderly father about how you'll turn into a frickin' light one day? These lights aren't soil. Just because you found life in Antarctica doesn't mean that suddenly the lights in the sky are also soil. This is stupid.
has massive lakes that are just hidden underneath miles and miles of ice.
No, to be hidden under miles and miles of ice,
underneath?
like Earth, you'd have to describe it perpendicular to a surface level. You're not going to get that out of the extrapolated orbital motion spherically based Europa that you're describing. This is absurd.
If you like these types of stories, then give us a follow everywhere at TilScience.
TilScience. There you go. Glad she separated it out so I could do a proper shout out to her. It's no offence to you, my dear. You don't know. It's Dunning-Kruger. Your confidence is misplaced because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that your heliocentric orbital motion that could give you lights that are soil requires Earth be measured flat with elevation angles. You didn't know that. You're Dunning-Kruger. But that's all right. I'll still shout you out. Hopefully you do the same for me. TilScience. Go and shout her out, give her a like, go and leave a comment on her video that alludes to the fact that we have covered her video today on Flat Earth Debate. Leave her a polite comment that doesn't immediately get eradicated by the YouTube algorithmic bots or indeed the videographer herself. Just let her know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and hopefully she'd do the same for me if she was to respond. Maybe she'd feel the need to disagree. Au contraire, Nathan! We don't acquire elevation angle measurements to the stars to create a Polaris-centric system to project spherically through and from an equatorial plane to a celestial sphere that we use to plot out those angles we measured off the flat surface. You're wrong, Nathan! We do actually have lights that could be soil, based on the mathematics derived from the bastardised flat Earth measurements that preclude Earth being a curved surface moving around the sun. You just don't understand, she might say, as a sake of example. Or not. Earth is definitely measured flat, and she might just accept that and decide that it might not be a good idea to tangle with me. It might be embarrassing. She might be demonstrably proven Dunning-Kruger for the ignorance of the flat Earth that's measured for her systems to suggest the soil in the sky. She might just decide it's not a good idea to acknowledge any of these facts and think that if she sticks her head in the sand, it'll just go away and Earth will remain sphere-shaped based on those flat Earth measurements she just found out from me Earth was measured with. Let her know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. There's a comment. I haven't pinned it, but it's going by in the chat now. If you're in the live stream, if you're amongst the 76 people who are watching this live, please let her know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and hopefully she'd do the same for me if she was to make a response rather than stick her head in the sand after finding out Earth is always measured flat. Did you all enjoy that?
Yeah, it's a good laugh.
I pick that one. Not often I pick something.
Whilst you were doom scrolling, what did it come up on your feed randomly?
Yeah. So as I was scrolling through shorts videos this morning. Yeah. Very pleased to have covered her. TilScience. I'll stick her in the name of the title. T-I-L. Is it T-I-L? Yeah, T-I-L. Any remarks
Yeah,
from you
you gotta feel
guys?
sorry for the ballers.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you got to feel sorry for the ballers because it's unbeknownst to them how much of a flat earth they utilise to tell you about Earth's a sphere, whereas the anti-flat earthers know.
Yeah, the anti-flat earthers, it keeps them up at night. Yeah, it's driving them to distraction. They need to find little straw men to burn to make themselves feel better, like guns.
I could give you an Earth measurement, the globe. I define it to be linear on a globe, a geodesic, and if I have to walk that path, it can be approximated via ever getting smaller linear segments. How does this get right? I can compute a linear distance. So does he think he's living inside a globe?
I don't know what they think. I just know how the globe gets created from flat Earth measurements at vernal
Well, if he's
equinox.
going to give me measurements of a globe, it's got to be on top, not from inside.
Yeah, I can't help how it works. It's not my model. It's not Nathan Oakley's globe. What do you want from me?
Well, when you say you can get linear measurements from freaking a globe, then you take me inside the globe, there's something wrong there, no?
The globe's nothing more than a glorified protractor, Neil.
How does somebody take you inside mathematics? I don't get it.
They whistle past the flat Earth prerequisite measurements that are made on the surface level, utilise them to create a ball model to put you inside, and then ask you if you understand how the projected PZX triangles don't work when they've added up to more than 180. Things like that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it requires you whistle past the flat Earth prerequisite measurements that we all make of Earth.
Always beware when somebody says, think about it.
How do you
Think about
whistle
it.
past it when your first statement out the gate is it's too big to measure the curve, therefore being flat? How do you whistle? So you might as well just say it's flat and then whistle past the it's flat. The thing I just said. That's ridiculous.
But they do say it's flat.
Well, that's what they're saying when they say it's too big to measure the curve. If you didn't measure the curve, what did you measure? Nothing. Flatness. Yeah, okay. So we're on the same page then. And then you have a story, and then you turn it into a globe. What? That sounds like crackhead shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's so big, we'll measure it flat.
That's because Earth's an oblate disco ball.
No, it's so big, we'll measure it flat because it's flat. That's how we'll measure it, flat. Big and flat. Just like it's measured. Yeah, like I keep saying, you don't have to like these facts. And you can try as much as you like to make them into my facts so you can make them wrong. And when they're wrong, there'll be Nathan's facts that are wrong, meaning you can still, utilise these flat Earth prerequisite measurements of Earth to move forward in your ball belief, but only Nathan's measurements have been debunked as wrong. No, that's the game currently. Make the flat Earth measurements that are required to create a ball into Nathan's measurements. Get Nathan to describe how the calculated sphere values that are extrapolated from those measurements are correct or incorrect, and when one or other is shown to be the converse after Nathan has described them, that makes Nathan wrong. So you can all get on with your day measuring a flat Earth and believing that Earth's a sphere after the fact because you calculated sphericity from the flat Earth measurements. The ones that you use, not the ones that Nathan was talking about. Well, the ones that Nathan's talking about are yours. That's all I talk about, because I don't need any measurements of Earth. I haven't got any requirement to measure Earth. None. You have.
That would be a hell of a feat, though, because they would have proved you wrong, and then they would be proving, I don't know, sustainable by design wrong. The citation you actually cite, talking about a horizontal plane that the observer is standing on. They'd be proving them wrong, too. So that would be a hell of a feat.
That's correct.
I say that they should go for it.
Yes, it's called the rock and the hard place. So I'll use the example with Al-Biruni. Globehead comes along and says, we know Earth's a sphere. We've measured it thousands of years ago in Alexandria and Cyan. We measured a stick and a shadow. We measured a well. We found out the distance. And we knew, after we extrapolated out all of the values, how big the Earth was when sphere-shaped. So screw you, flat earther. Response. He's measuring flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun. Unless the Earth is flat, this measurement is void. Do you accept the flat Earth measurement that is required in your own example? That is to ask the person, do they accept the rock they are standing on of a flat Earth measurement they've just declared in Alexandria and Cyan? If the response is yes, they accept Earth is measured flat. The rock. Alternative option. The hard place. No, Flurf, I do not accept this measurement of a flat Earth. He's not measuring Earth flat in Cyan. He's not measuring Earth flat in Alexandria. Elevation angle measurements of the surface have got nothing to do with the surface. This isn't even a measurement. I don't even accept that he exists. Okay, then. So you have now decided that you will be relinquishing your measurements, then. You don't want them to be of Earth. They're not of Earth. You don't have a measurement, then. AKA, the hard place. Then be gone, you have no measurement. You have nothing then. It's not a measurement of Earth, then why did you stupid numpty clown, bring it up? You brought it to me to tell me Earth isn't flat. I point out where you are utilising a flat Earth measurement of an angle with respect to surface level, stick and shadow, elevation angle, look it up. And when I point out Earth must be flat for your measurements, you tell me it's not of Earth, that it's only a conceptual idea. It's not really with respect to the surface. Yeah? Is that what you want? Yeah, I don't care. You can relinquish your requirement to measure Earth flat all you like. Or you can accept the elevation angle measurement in Cyan and Alexandria for what it is, a flat Earth prerequisite. It's an elevation angle measurement. So you require a flat surface level or you haven't got an angle. What's that? It's not the surface level. Well, then you haven't got an angle measurement, so you don't have this evidence. You see, I don't care which one you pick. Choose the hard place. Bugger off with no measurements with the tail between the legs because you haven't got any measurements. You're decrying that they're a measurement of Earth now. Oh, you do want to accept the measurements? Well, then you better get on your knees and acknowledge how flat Earth must be. It's a surface level measurement that includes surface level as part of the angle. If it's bending at an angle, you clown. So you better accept that Earth will and can only be flat for this measurement, at which point you haven't got a globe to believe in anymore. You realise you've just measured Earth flat. You, not me. That'll be the Rock again.
They want the measurement, but they don't want it to be the Earth.
Oh, they want
the
to have their cake and eat
but
it.
they don't want it to be the ground.
Yeah, they want their flat Earth measurement of Earth to not be the Earth until it gets calculated to be curving, violating it as a measurement of a flat angle in this instance. So they want to have the measurement of a flat Earth but not acknowledge that Earth is flat when they measure it. They want to just forget all about how Earth must be measured flat to start this process. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was the game for 10 years, wasn't it? The 10-year game of measure Earth flat and then tell the flurf how you can't have a flat Earth. That's the game. Yeah, now we're holding you to account though, you bunch of clowns. You measure Earth flat with elevation angle measurements and then want to deny that it's the Earth.
This is not very unlike when we first started this and we were told we're stupid because there's science that proves that we live on a globe. I remember when we were told that every baller that came in here, you stupid first, science proves that we live on a globe. Science for years, right? After a while, they started to tell us that science doesn't prove things. Well, okay, that's weird because you said for all this time that science proves you live on a globe. Now science doesn't prove anything. So therefore you have no science that proves on a globe, category error anyway. But let's forget that. So you don't have what you claimed you had the whole time. This is the same thing as this. They have flat Earth measurements and they're going to try to prove that it's a globe using flat Earth measurements and deny the flat Earth measurements. It just leaves them in a bit of a quandary. And that's the pain. And that's what we hear all the time. That's why people are screaming into the snow. That's it, right? And pulling out toy globes and toy planes and doing all this crap. Exactly. Because it's painful.
It's not our fault. I'm sorry, lads. You know, it's not our fault you need a flat Earth to measure. It's not going to become my flat Earth measurement so you can discount it and then get back onto using the same flat Earth measurement that you always were using. Yeah, the whole "it's so big we can measure it flat" thing ain't flying no more. We didn't notice, now we do.
Can I ask you a question, Nathan? Is that your definition of an elevation angle? Did you come up with that? Are you famous for that? Are you
No, I've never.
the books for that?
No, I've never defined anything. I'm not in any dictionaries with my name ascribed to the definitions of elevation angles, Neil. I'd be proud if I was, though. I mean, if it was me describing the surface level being a horizontal plane to stand on and measure, then fine, you know, you can ascribe that to me, but that wouldn't, even if it was ascribed to me personally, change what an elevation angle actually is. It's on screen now, by the way. It's in plenty of textbooks. You know, you'll notice the lack of my name anywhere on this. What it does do is detail the celestial equator, you being at the centre of Earth, a glorified protractor, measuring a 40-degree angle measurement with respect to surface level. That's what this angle measurement is, a parallel plane and sky. Now, this isn't my book. It's come from the Ball's belief about how we transpose flat Earth elevation angle measurements inside to hell to make them work with the perceived ball that I was asked at the beginning of the show about how PZX triangles don't add up to 180. Yeah, that would be these, the ones that get projected from the centre of Earth through the ball to the celestial sphere. But we still need to measure this angle, don't we? Where are we getting the 40 degrees from? It's just an angle measurement off the surface to the star. That's all it is. It's us measuring Earth flat. And we do measure Earth flat. That's where we get this 40 degrees from in all the books. They're not my books. I mean, they will be shortly. It'll be my book with the words Nathan Oakley underneath the title, Welcome to Flat Earth. And diagrams like this one explaining where Earth gets measured flat for your belief to be walked away from at the end of reading the book if you can fog a mirror. Yeah? Or you can tell me I'm wrong. You can say this is Nathan's story. Nathan doesn't understand the celestial equator. Do I not? Oh, right. It's a good job it's not me writing about it then, eh? It's a good job you require Earth be measured flat for this 40 degrees north from the centre of Earth. I mean, I'm not pretending we're in the molten iron core like that beautiful lady who was doing the video earlier. You know, she's just ignorant. Like Dunning-Kruger doesn't appreciate when she talks about the core of Earth keeping things warm, how nonsensical and idiotic that can actually be.
It terrifies and excites me.
She doesn't know. She's delusional. Dunning-Kruger. Ignorant, you would say. We know. We know that the centre of Earth isn't a molten iron core. It's a point to mathematicize the flat Earth that you're measuring and make it work with the celestial equator in this instance, or the equatorial plane, or any of the flat Earth prerequisite angle measurements to stars that create a ball for this chick to believe in. Yeah? We understand. She doesn't. But Dunning-Kruger confidence is what you get when you're talking about Antarctica and the exploration that's also connected to NASA, when they describe the orbital motion of the Lite that could also be soil. Nah, definitely not. You're being controlled, though. You're being ushered away from these areas that are very heavily controlled. I mean, should you land there by accident, the Chilean government will escort you away at gunpoint. Unless you've got all the forms filled out to go and do flat Earth measurements you're going to call experiments to validate this ball that you're not standing in, to call a core to keep the puddles warm. I wonder if they're keeping the puddles in Europa warm, because they're moving through an orbital motion that's measured in this fashion. Yeah? It would require you acquire an elevation angle measurement from hell. Yeah, the core that you thought was keeping stuff warm, my dear. Anyway, she knows better now, doesn't she? She's been told. Yeah, it's something else I need to get clear with people, because there's a misapprehension about what's going on when I do what I do daily. Yeah? I'm not asking anybody for anything. Like, people are under this misapprehension that I require you to give me a flat Earth. No, I don't want anything from you. I'm telling this chick that Earth's measured flat for her stupid model, for her misapprehensions of lights containing soils. There's no question being asked. I mean, there's a request that should she respond to me, she puts a link to my video. But make no mistake about what's happening. I'm telling her how her world came to fruition based on the flat Earth measurements she will use. That's not a question. It's not a request. It's a me telling you how it is circumstance that's befalling all of you. By way of her in this instance. I'm telling her Earth gets measured flat. No affirmation or debate is required after this fact is put out in the ether by me. It's been fun. Is there anything else to discuss? If not, I'm going to round out. Nope. That, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, smashed the super chat, hit me up on PayPal and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to today's Google Meet and Discord panels for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.